My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm driving to the radio station, so we got a bit of a drive here. Welcome, everyone. You know, the world is what I'm gonna lead with this today on the radio. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. The world is in a real bad spot right now. You know, the government of the United States for the past 4 years was being run by the Biden staff. In fact, there's a news story today that talks about the Biden staff had plans on how they would run the second term if Biden got reelected, right, before Kamala took over. And we are in just a mess. So this war that's going on with Ukraine and Russia is about to escalate. It could go south so quick, you know, and this is how major wars happen. Stupidity and egos. And these staffers at the White House have left, they started this war. They've left Trump with this mess. And, you know, this slap of Macron, okay, I have that in the thumbnail for the morning show today at 6. And a lot of people may think it's trivial, like almost gossip, but it's not. Europe is on the brink of war. And believe it or not, France is one of the major countries of the NATO alliance. So we have Putin, who's lost his freaking mind. We have this puppet lunatic Zelensky. We have all kinds of forces around. Europe's about to break out in war. And Macron is being slapped around by his wife. This is how world wars begin. And now they're going to try to blame everything on Trump. But Trump's got nothing to do with this. I mean, he's the president now, so he has to deal with it. Gosh darn it. There we go. I have so many accessories on this car, I don't even know how to use them all. It's been left on his lap, and he's going to have to try to clean up this mess. But that slap of Macron could not have come at a worse time. You know, Putin has no fear of Europe. President Trump says he's lost his mind. So what's going to happen? And what should Trump do? That's what we're going to be talking about today on the show with your calls. If you're new to my channel here, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm driving to the radio station. And not using my studio today. I got some stuff I got to do with the radio station. I have to go to the radio station a couple times this week. It seems like Monday, even though it's Tuesday, because yesterday was Memorial Day, big holiday here in the United States. It's just a mess. And I'm of the opinion that if the war escalates, we should have nothing to do with it. You know, the NATO countries are more corrupt than even our country has been, right? I mean, Doge exposed a lot of corruptions, but the NATO countries, most of them, England, France, you know, the big ones, right? They have very tiny militaries. They, you know, the military is one of the biggest expenses of a country. But because the United States has been paying the union dues and defending them. They just assumed the United States was going to be there to defend them. So they have tiny militaries. They have tiny armies, the European countries, tiny air forces, and tiny navies. I was talking a couple months back that the British Navy has more admirals in it than combat vessels on active duty, and that's not a joke. So Europe is not in a position to fight a war. They're not. I mean, this is just ridiculous. You know, especially, you know, the day after Memorial Day, you know, for those that, you know, that aren't in the United States, we have Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Veterans Day is for the veterans, and Memorial Day is for those who were lost in battle. And I'm sorry. We should have nothing to do with another European war. We've been in 2 world wars and a bunch of smaller things over the years over there. And I think they're on their own for this one. I really do. Now, with that being said, you know, the Obama and the Biden presidencies have some responsibility here. And the Biden staff and Jill Biden that have been running the country illegally for 4 years, they allowed this to happen. But even still, what we're supposed to send, you know, those young graduates from West Point, young men and women in the military off to fight some war because Europe can't get their shit together? I'm sorry. I think they're on their own for this one. They don't want peace. Putin doesn't want peace. Zelensky doesn't want peace. The Democrats don't want peace. Military-industrial complex doesn't want peace. France is a joke. I mean, Macron should resign. Europe's weak. This slap thing and everything that's going on. This is not funny. I mean, this is some serious business that's going on here. Some really serious business. And yeah, the Balkans. Yeah, that's right. In the 90s, and that a lot of people died in that. It was a mess. And these things can escalate. If you remember in Bosnia, Wesley Clark was the general in charge over there for the United States, right? Remember that? Was he leading NATO forces or the UN? I want to say NATO, but it's been a long time. And there was a friendly fire incident with the United States, and one of our rockets hit a Chinese television station. Remember that? Blew it up, killed everybody there. These things can escalate out of control so freaking quick. And then you got a lot of people, Israel, Mark Levin and others, trying to get us into a war with Iran. And remember, Iran are allied with Russia. I mean, what the hell? Let me tell you, you know, I know recruitment's up and everything else, but that doesn't mean we want to send them off to fight these foreign wars that have nothing to do with us. If they have anything, it's very little. This is a mess. This is a bigger mess than people realize. I mean, you know, if you study history, how many wars could have been avoided? World War I could have been avoided. World War II is a different scenario. But, you know, a lot of people, and when these wars happen, there's always lunatics who want them. Like, look at all these people that are pushing to bomb Iran. Out of their freaking minds. If Trump decides he has to do it, it's a last resort. I don't hear as many voices as I heard a couple years ago that we should be supporting Zelensky in Ukraine. But you know, there's no doubt that you know, look at Bush and Cheney. They wanted wars so bad. They ran for president to start wars, and they got it. 20-year war. They killed Kennedy to escalate the war in Vietnam for profit. No doubt in my mind. And I think most people agree with that. FDR knew about, he wanted war. He knew about Pearl Harbor before it happened. Nothing could convince me of that he didn't. I used to think that was crazy until I saw what a lunatic Bush and Cheney were. And now they're pushing us into another war. Because there's a lot of money to be made. And these wars are a mess. I mean, you know, have any of you ever seen Gone with the Wind? I love Gone with the Wind. My wife and I, we watch Gone with the Wind like once a year. My wife and I love that movie. And in the beginning of the movie, they're having that party at the plantation, the Ashley Wilkes plantation. And they find out that there's a war going, that Fort Sumter got fired on. And you hear all these idiots excited to go off to war and enlist. And they say it'll be over in a month. And I've been watching that movie my whole life, and everybody laughs. How stupid could they be? And the next scene, Scarlett O'Hara is a widow, right? Well, there was the same ridiculous attitude when the war in Iraq began, in Afghanistan began, with Bush and Cheney. Oh, we'll be out of there in a month. 20 years. 20 years. So now they're trying to push us into a war with Russia and Iran, you know, who are allied. And not only that, Russia's got friends. China's pissed off and always trying to screw us over. So they'll be working with China. Whatever sanctions we put on, they'll be able to survive them. Won't be pleasant, but they'll be able to survive them because they got China. Russia. Especially if there's a war going on. This is how shit escalates, man. This is such a dangerous... We're lucky to have Trump in the White House. These staffers that got us into this damn war running the Biden White House are some evildoers, man. Evildoers. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Oh, this is bad. It's not... This what's going on right now is not a joke. So that's what I'm going to open up with today at 6 a.m. and then take your calls on it. I mean, this is just, you know, see, Macron's lunatic wife slapping him in front of the world like that. It's not funny. Because it sends a message to Putin that Europe is weak, which they are. Macron, you know, if Macron was the president of France when the Nazis took over, he would have been a collaborator. He is such a weak man. That's not the kind of message you want to send to Putin. I agree with Trump. Putin seems to have lost his freaking mind. We could end up in a major war. A major war over this. They can't get a summit meeting with Putin and Zelensky. Putin's called off negotiations. I don't believe the Ukrainian assassination attempt. I'll tell you one thing that is possible. Let me ask you this, yes or no? I got two questions. The first one, yes or no, do you think there was truly an assassination attempt against Putin in the helicopter the other day? Yes or no? Because there's three possibilities with that. Yes or no, do you think there was an assassination attempt on Putin in the helicopter? Or was it just propaganda by Putin to justify his actions against Ukraine? Now, they said it was drone strikes. If it's drones, that means it was, yeah, there's a lot of yeses. I see a lot of yeses. So, if there was an assassination attempt on Putin, who was behind it? There's three possibilities. And I'm going to give you the, if there was an assassination attempt against Putin, there are three suspects of who was behind it. I'm going to give you the three, and you tell me which you think was behind it, if it's true that there was an assassination attempt. First, Ukraine, for obvious reasons. Two, internal Russian dissent, an attempted coup in Russia, right? But Russians did it, Russian military. And the third suspect would be the United States, because he won't come to the peace table. So, if you believe there was an assassination attempt on Putin, which I don't know, I think it's 50-50, who was behind it? Ukraine? Russian military? A coup? Or the United States? A lot of people say Ukraine, and I'll tell you, now again, if we get new information, you know, because as we get new information, because a lot of people are saying Ukraine, well, if it's true, and we don't know, I think Ukraine is the least likely of the three suspects, and here's why. If Ukraine tried to assassinate Trump with drones, they would have to do that with U.S. equipment, right? It would have to be U.S. equipment, U.S. weapons, U.S. technology to pull something off like that. That's a major escalation. Don't you think Trump would be pissed off about that? Wouldn't Trump be furious with Zelensky over that? Because it's such a major escalation. If it's true, Putin could have made the whole thing up just to justify an escalation in his attacks on Ukraine. Well, see what I mean? There's a mess going on here. Complete mess going on. I think Trump would be going through the roof if it was Ukraine. You know, because for two reasons. One, it escalates things and can cause a nuclear war, no doubt. Two, the United States, it's against the law to assassinate foreign heads of state. And Trump would be pissed using American weapons to do something like that. And Trump didn't seem pissed about it. He seemed pissed at Putin. So if it's true there was an assassination attempt, again, it's 50-50. You can't trust Ukraine or Russia to tell you the truth about anything. That's for sure. I just think if it was Ukraine, Trump would be going through the roof about it. Going through the roof. Again, I could be wrong. We don't have a lot of information on it. Everyone's talking about it, but that's not information. So, you know, we're speculating with very little intel. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk, make sure that you subscribe, guys. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. Yeah, I'm on I-95, heading to the radio station. I have to go to the radio station today and one other day this week. They handed Trump a mess with this. Just a mess. Now, when I talk, you know, I think the three most likely possibilities with the Trump or with the Putin assassination are: one, it didn't happen; two, internal forces or the United States. I think Ukraine's least likely to be behind an assassination attempt on Putin, based on the little bit of information we have now. But like I said, we don't have a lot of information, so new intel could come out, and I would change my thoughts on that. But based on what we have right now, Trump just didn't seem pissed off enough for it to be Ukraine, and he knows, because he's the president. He's, we have good intelligence. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. There's no scenario where there's a winner in a war with Russia in Europe. Russia would never, they would fight until the end. This is such an ego, man-made, created conflict. It really is. It truly is. It's a bad one. Trump, I'm sure he's trying to do it. And Putin, he said Putin's crazy. He's lost his mind. I mean, for President Trump to talk that way about Putin tells me that Putin's gone, lost. Brit Hume is such an asshole. I saw Brit Hume. I might play this later. The president's changed his stance on Putin. Trump has always thought these things about Putin. But if he's out there insulting and calling him a crazy man all the time, that's counterproductive when you're trying to work with him to stop a war. So he's been complimentary just as a negotiating tactic. But it looks like Trump's given up on Putin, that there's just no deal to be made with Putin to stop the war. See, the problem is, if this war, because right now, there's a lot of fighting and death going on in Ukraine, according to President Trump. He said he's seen the satellite footage. It's awful. If this war escalates, okay, If this war escalates, it could easily escalate into other European countries. It just takes one mistake with a rocket, a missile, a fighter attack, and next thing you know, Third World War begins. That's how this stuff happens. And the NATO alliance says that an attack on one is an attack on all, right? We heard that a lot after 9/11. The NATO allies came out on America's side right away because of that. So, if one of these other countries gets hit, and it's from Russia, and a friendly fire incident, you could have a domino effect of freaking another world war in Europe, just like that. Boom. With Macron getting slapped by his wife. The only reason I'm not terrified is because Trump's the president. If Trump wasn't the president, oh, we'd be effed. Totally. I just passed Mar-a-Lago. Yep. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I gotta fill up my car. I saw a billboard advertisement for a movie theater. I haven't been to a movie theater in 6-7 years. It would take a lot to get me to a movie theater. Things come on television so fast, you know. Need my coffee, I'm tired. So that's what I'm going to lead with today. It's easy for all these war hawks. They're not going off to war. I got a sneeze coming on. Oh boy, excuse me. It is 82 degrees right now at 5:03 in the morning in sunny South Florida. Thank you for the bless yous. Thank you, thank you. To my exit. 7 miles to my exit. 6 miles. 6 miles to my exit. traffic on the road. 5:05 a.m. No, if Trump was not the president, we would be in a lot of trouble. He'll figure it out, but doesn't mean it's not going to escalate. I mean, things are so bad right now with Russia and Ukraine and Europe that there could be massive war break out at any moment. I know there's a war going on, but when I'm talking about a massive, like, bombardment of Ukraine could happen at any moment. It could just happen. And then Macron would be the first one calling for immediate military response because he's got to act like he's a man since he got pushed around by his wife. Now, those of you that are new, on my next stream, which will be at 6 a.m. Eastern, I'll be in this radio studio taking live calls. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you'll be able to call me and share your thoughts. Can't use profanity, though. It's on the radio. It seems to be a problem for some people. I think on Friday we hit broke our record with the number of times I used the dump button for profanity. Couple of miles till the exit. Starbucks doesn't open up for 20 minutes or so. When I stop, I'll read through the chat, guys. This is the exit for the radio station I'm passing now. I got to go north of the exit to get coffee. Remember, the Starbucks over here is when they had that freak out because I had this Trump 2028 hat on, so I'm burned there. Can't get my coffee there anymore after that incident a couple weeks ago. Guess it was about 2 weeks ago today that happened. It does seem like Monday. Am I the only one that feels like it's Monday? I got a lot of good feedback on my vlog I uploaded yesterday morning from you guys. I appreciate that. I'll do some more vlogging from time to time. area is a ghost town at this hour. Oh, really? Someone else other than me, Austin? I appreciate that. It's always nice to have fans. You know, it's one thing. You ever hear actors, directors, writers? They always say they don't pay attention to critics. One thing you learn early on when you do something that's in the public, you really don't care what critics say. Now, you know, and the critics could be in the form of a troll in a chat room. I mean, think about what it's like when you go to work. And this is, I realized this many years ago when I first started out. When you go to work, there's tens of thousands of people. You know, over 100,000 people listen every day to me on the radio stations and on the different online platforms and everything else. So imagine going to work and you've got tens of thousands of people every day watching everything you do at work. And then imagine this, like whatever you do, right? There's a screen, not only are there tens of thousands of people watching you while you're at work, imagine in front of you is a live chat room with people commenting on your every move at work. Could you imagine what that would be like for you? It's crazy, isn't it? That's what it's like for me. And, you know, so you just, you know, when you have people that are critical, you just don't care. You just kind of get used to it. It's kind of funny when you think about it, you know, but it's nuts. I remember one day, Richie, the bus driver, a few years ago, was, I don't know, he referenced something that somebody in the chat rooms was saying. You know, there were people in the chat room that were giving me a hard time about something. And I said, Richie, imagine what it was like, what it would be like when you were a bus driver, if when you were driving the bus, thousands were watching you, and on the windshield in front of you was a live chat of people commenting on how you were driving the bus. Could you imagine what that'd be like? It's hilarious. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? It is. It is. It's nuts. It's funny. It's funny and crazy at the same time, but you know. That's what it is. I don't mind it. You know, you learn not to. I learned probably my first couple of weeks on the air, which was over 30 years ago now. It's been, oh my gosh, like 34, 35 years, that you can't pay attention to what people think. It's hilarious. Yeah, backseat drivers. Imagine having thousands of backseat drivers every day telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what they think. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know why. It's a funny thing, because when I was young and I would hear actors say, "Oh, I don't listen to the critics." Well, that's got to be, but it's true, you don't. Oh, they do it behind your back too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. People do all kinds of things behind your back. It's hilarious. So anyway, back to what I was talking about. The Superman movie, I am not going to go see that Superman movie. I will never see that Superman movie. The Christopher Reeves 1978 Superman is the only Superman movie that you need. They'll never equal or better that. Mm-mm. And I saw Nathan Fillion looks like a weirdo in that movie. The movie does not look good. It looks like garbage. Looks like garbage. But I'll tell you, well, if I take off the glasses, I might reveal my secret identity. Maybe I'm Superman. The glasses are my disguise. But I was talking earlier that, well, before I get to that, before I get back to, since we talked about the Superman movie, I have a YouTube short that's on the channel here. I was talking a month or two ago about this, that if you really go back and follow the Superman story and why Lex Luthor doesn't like him. Lex Luthor's terrified of Superman because he has this superhuman strength, but he's also an illegal alien. And he's afraid that the world will be overrun by more illegal aliens taking over. I have a YouTube short that explains it. If you go in my short feed, you can find it. You should watch it. So anyway, back to what the main topic is going to be on the show today at 6. I'm going to talk about what's going on in Ukraine. The slap of Macron could very well play into causing the Third World War. Christopher Reeves, yeah, it's Christopher Reeve. It's weird because it's no S, Christopher Reeve. And then the television show in the 50s was George Reeves with an S. That's right, Superman should get deported. That's right, he's an illegal alien. That's right. That's right. He's an illegal alien. In fact, there's also what's it called? Anyone familiar with Red Sun? There's a comic book series which they made into an animated movie of Superman if he had landed in Russia and was raised in Russia, if he didn't land in the United States. And it's pretty good. It's called Red Sun. And they made a cartoon movie about it a couple years ago. Yeah, Red Sun's cool, yeah. Mm-hmm. Little crazy, but you know. But no, I'm not going to see the new Superman. Mm-mm. I might rewatch Superman the movie with Christopher Reeve. No, there's no weird parallels, Joshua. Only if you're an anti-Semite, you hate Jews, you try to find a conspiracy with anything involving Jews because you hate Jews. So anyway, back to the main topic of the day is going to be what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. I mean, we are so close to the Third World War right now. So close. Closer than we really want to know, tell you the truth. You know, things could go south very quickly here. You know, in the beginning of the stream, I talked about the assassination attempt. I think you guys can rewind and look at that, but I'm going to go over that when I go live at 6 today, because it's got to be discussed. It's there's no S. It's Christopher Reeve with no S, and he was the best. He was the best Superman. I agree. George Reeves was good too in the 50s, but Christopher Reeve is the best. Best Superman by far. That's one of the few movies I own on iTunes. I bought that movie, Superman the movie from '78. It's the best. The best. BlackRock wants us involved. Yeah, you're right, Bill Leslie. Absolutely, they do. The military-industrial complex want war. The Democrats want war. The Bush, never Trumper Republicans want war. Did you see that DeSantis got booed here in Florida yesterday? He wasn't used to that. Superwoman, they tried that in that Flash movie. That was awful. They picked a very androgynous girl to play Supergirl in that. I've always been a Superman fan. I was watching that new series that just went off the air, the Superman and Lois series, and the way they ended that just pissed me the freak off. I did not like how they ended that. It was such bullcrap. Such bullcrap. It's disgusting how they ended that series. Well, listen, guys, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. On the next stream, I'll be taking your calls. I'm going to sign off and do a little more reading of the news while I'm waiting for Starbucks to open. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.